Welcome to a video presentation of Chapter 4, Section 7 in McDougal Littell's 8th grade textbook entitled Negative and Zero Exponents. We start by discussing the rule of negative exponents. The rule says for any integer n and any a not equal to 0, that a to the negative n is equal to 1 over a to the n. For any integer n and any a not equal to 0, that a to the negative n is equal to 1 over a to the n. So what they're really telling you is in these problems, if you have a negative exponent, what you need to do is change that into a problem that's written like a fraction, and then you're going to flip the part with the negative exponent to the other side of the fraction. Meaning if it starts in the numerator, it's going to switch to the denominator. If it starts in the denominator, it's going to jump to the numerator. And when you move it to that other side, the negative exponent part goes away. And then you can solve the problem like you always would. So for instance, if I have the problem 2 to the negative third, that would be like 2 to the negative third over 1. To get rid of the negative part, instead of it being in the numerator, it goes down here to the denominator. It becomes 1 over 2 to the third. And 1 over 2 to the third is 8. Or 8, so it would be 1 over 8. That's how you got to do it. So it's really just taking a fraction and flipping it around to get rid of the negative part. So let's do some of these because it makes sense as we do it. Example 1. 3 to the negative third. It has a negative exponent, so you want to write it like a fraction. Right? So 3 to the negative third over 1. Now when you want to get rid of the negative exponent part, you're going to take that part and move it to the other side of the fraction. So that's the 3 to the negative third. So I want to take it and move it down there. When I do that, the negative exponent goes away. So what I would have left would be 1 over 1 times 3 to the third. Okay? Nothing else really changed here. All right? I still have this 1 on the bottom. I created a 1 up here. I created a 1 up here because it's still a fraction. They got to leave something up there. Notice this, 3 and 3. It's still 3 and 3. The only difference is the negative went away. Now you can simplify that. 3 to the third, 3 times 3 is 9, times 3 is 27, and that would be 1 over 27. Let's try to get an example 2. 2y to the negative third. So remember, start by writing it as a fraction. So 2y to the negative third over 1. Now, the part that gets hit here is that y to the negative third. Okay? That's the part with the negative. So I'm going to take that part and I'm going to flip it to the other side. So instead of staying up top, it's going to go down to the bottom, into the denominator. When I move it, it becomes positive. It's 2 over 1 times y to the third. All I did is I took that negative exponent thing, moved it to the other side, it became positive. I didn't do anything else. Did not do anything else there. It's the way you get rid of the negative, you move it to the other side. All right, now this one, a little bit different. Okay. 6x to the negative fourth over x to the negative second. There's 2 rules here. Okay. As you can see, first off, this is a division problem. Hopefully you remember that if I'm dividing things with the same base, I actually have to subtract the exponents. Okay? If it was just x to the negative fourth over x to the negative second, right, that's a division problem, so I have to subtract. So if I do negative 4 minus negative 2, well, negative 4 minus negative changes to plus. That makes negative 2. So this whole thing is going to change into 6x to the negative second. Now I can use the negative exponent rule. Okay. So now you're going to write it like a fraction, 6x to the negative second over 1. And again, you only got to touch the part that's affected by the negative exponent. So I don't have to move the 6. 6 is fine. There's nothing wrong with 6. It's x to the negative second that has to get moved. Okay. It's got to go to the other side and become positive. So 6 over 1 times x to the second. Okay, question Elaine. That's definitely the harder rule today. Definitely the harder of the two rules. Nick, question? No? Okay. The other rule today is the rule of zero exponents. We've been exposed to the rule of zero exponents before. Should not be too difficult for you. If a is a non-zero number, then a to the 0th power equals 1. If a is a non-zero number, then a to the 0th power equals 1. So all that's telling you, if I have something to the 0th power, it's got to make 1. Whether it's 100, a million, infinity, -20, -947, and if it goes to the 0th power, it's going to make 1. So if I have 2 to the 0th power, like I do in example 4, that's just going to become 1.